wife stabbed her husband multiple times this morning.
Yikes.
This is in the news. Why did she stab the husband multiple times? Because she saw a photo with her husband with a much younger, hotter woman.
Oh, okay then. It's justifiable.
It's justifiable. So if you see a photo of your husband with somebody younger and hotter, you can stab him multiple times?
Oh, that sounds like a justifiable homicide. Did the guy die?
No, he's not dead, but he's in the hospital.
All right. Well, that's a shame.
Okay. The reason he was in the photo with a much younger, hotter woman is because they've been together so long. That other woman was her.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
So she saw a photo of her husband with a younger, hotter woman and stabbed him because he was with another younger, hotter woman, and it was her from 20 years ago.
Okay, that's hilarious. and you think that's like a one-off and a crazy thing, but I've been in a situation like this. I didn't stab the guy. So I had this boyfriend in college, and we were sort of like, we weren't really on and off, but we were boyfriend. I mean, we weren't boyfriend and girlfriend. We would hook up. We were friends, and we would hook up. And in my mind, like, I was crazy about him. Like, I would have loved for him to be my boyfriend, like 100%.
Mm-hmm.
But and we never had those conversations. But we did spend a lot of time together. It was college. Like, how much time do you spend with anybody? But we never had that conversation of like, we're going to be exclusive. So like, there were weekends that he'd be with his frat brothers and I wouldn't see him. So I would assume that he was with other women or whatever he was doing or, whatever. So
would you stalk him?
No. I was in college. Please. I had my own things going on.
Okay. So you didn't go out and stalk him. You just thought in your head that he was with other women.
I figured he probably was because I was hanging out with other guys, we were.
Oh, okay.
But I would have liked us to have been boyfriend, girlfriend. Like when we were together, it was intense. Like we had amazing sex and we would he'd spend the night. We'd have breakfast in the morning. We would go do something that day. We'd go into DC together and go see a museum or something, like whatever you do when you're a kid. So, so one time I was at his house and I was in the kitchen doing something and he was in the living room with his roommates. And I heard his roommates say to him something like, I heard the word girlfriend. I heard him say something about something about his girlfriend. And I immediately got nauseous. I was like, okay, so the weekends that he's not with me, he obviously has a girlfriend that he hasn't told me about. And that's why he and I are so casual because he's in a relationship and I'm the other woman in this scenario. And that would have been fine if he would have said to me, listen, I'm in a serious relationship, but it's not really going well. And just, have a conversation with me. But he didn't say anything. So I think I was frying eggs and I took the eggs and I threw them against the wall and I threw the pot in the sink and I turned off the oven, the stove, whatever, put my shoes on and stormed out. I was just like, fuck you, fuck this, I'm out of here. And I storm out. So he doesn't know what's going on with me. So he gives me time to cool off and I'm hysterical crying. And I go to my best friend's house and I'm telling her all about this. I'm freaking out. And I get back to my house and he's sitting on my stoop waiting for me. I was living off campus at this point. He's sitting on my stoop waiting for me. And he's like, what the heck was that? And I said, I can't believe that you have a girlfriend and you didn't even bother to tell me that you have a girlfriend, that I'm the other woman. Just tell me. Mm-hmm. And he grabs me by the shoulders and looks me in the eye and he goes, you moron, you're my girlfriend. They were referring to you. You're the girlfriend.
No, moron, you were my girlfriend. You're no longer my girlfriend, but you were for that right before you threw the eggs. You were my girlfriend, but because you
now that you threw eggs,
now that I know you're complete batshit crazy, you're no longer my girlfriend.
But this is the problem with boys who don't tell women how they feel about them, because then you got to make stuff up in your head and you got to figure it all out. You know what I mean? So I was justified. It wasn't, we weren't together. I was. It wasn't like we were together 24/7. He never called me his girlfriend. He never used those words. I always felt like he had one foot out the door on some level, He was just playing it cool the whole time. He was like, you're my girl.
No, the whole scenario was made up in your head.
Yes.
It
yes,
wasn't
exactly.
reality. He was a guy that didn't like to talk about his feelings. He liked to
Exactly.
show you his feelings.
Exactly.
And you were batshit crazy and threw eggs in a pan and
Exactly.
stormed off.
You know, in my defense, I was in college, so that's when you try out nuts for a little bit. You try out crazy for a little bit. Am I going to be the psycho girlfriend? I don't know. Let me try that out.
Boy, did he dodge a bullet. Wow. he should thank God for that friend who said that. And so did you continue to date this guy?
Of course. Yeah, we went out for like another year after that. He was like my boy. After that, he was my boyfriend because he hadn't told me he was my boyfriend, but then he was my boyfriend. So yeah.
So that lasted for a year. How did it end?
Well, college ended, and I went back to New York and moved back to Philadelphia, and we tried to keep in touch. We tried to see each other, but look, once you leave college and you get back and you get into your life, you get into your lives. Like, well, I mean, what was I, like 22? Was I gonna get married? No. So, I think he came to visit me in New York once or twice, but then he ended up moving to Thailand. So.
Oh, so you don't get married at 22? Is that what you're supposed to not do?
Not in New York. Sorry, I know that you did.
I didn't know that. Well,
yeah, you weren't supposed to. You were supposed to wait 10 years.
No, it's the South. You're supposed to be married when you're 14 in the South.
It's true. You're an old maid by the time. If you're 22 and single in the South, people like,
where's my grandchildren? Come on. You should have a 10-year-old by now.
I know, it's so crazy. Like, my friends in the South that are my age are grandparents. I'm like, what? How is that possible? They're like, well, yeah, they had their kids at 16, 17, and then their kids had kids at 16, 17. So, of course, they're grandparents.
Yeah, you could be 33 years old and have a grandkid. That's crazy.
I know, but it's normal there. I mean, I've got friends in Georgia that are like, yep, waiting to be a great grandma. I'm like, you're not even 50.
Yeah.
You're waiting to be a great grandma?
I don't know how that happens, because if you think back to your great grandma, she was 114 years old, always in my head.
Right.
She was the oldest person in the world. So I can't imagine a 50-year-old great grandmother. That's insane.